Podcasting is now one of the fastest growing content types in the world. And most importantly for marketers and business owners, more than half of podcast listeners say that they're at least somewhat more likely to buy something after hearing their advertisement on a podcast. But starting a new podcast is hard, and lots of rookies face a lot of the same challenges. Production, editing, and content ideation is harder than people think. But for most businesses who do an interview-style show, there's an even bigger challenge: getting people on their podcast. Hi, I'm Callie from the International Institute of Digital Marketing. Here are a few tips that will help you get people on your podcast. Find the podcast guest that you want. What makes a good podcast guest? That's going to very much depend on your podcast. You want to find people who will resonate with your audience and drive toward your podcast's main goal, whatever that may be. Big names make for great podcast guests. They're flashy, eye-catching, and make people want to listen. But the not-so-famous podcast guests can be just as good as the big names, and sometimes they can be even better for your business, even if they don't attract as many new listeners as the big names. That's because you can use the podcast with that person to create a relationship, whether it be transitioning that person into a client or creating a mutually beneficial strategic relationship. It's a strategy that helps you make content and find qualified leads, which is something that the big names don't necessarily offer. Now, how to get your guests on? Finding a good podcast guest is only half the battle. The second part is actually getting them to agree to coming on. You just have to ask. It may seem like an obvious answer, but it's really as simple as that. The worst thing they can say is no, and truth be told, that may be the answer that you get at first, but persistence is key, as well as meeting their demands when they finally come around to saying yes. So what does that usually entail? Flexibility and credibility. For more information, visit www.iidm.world.